Hey y'all, here it is, what, Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. Headed toward the peak of the week. Just kind of quiet this evening. The rain has stopped for now, and I even noticed just a kind of different quiet on the place this evening. I'm sitting out here in the middle of a pea patch and just pretty cool. That rain came right on time. Look at these things, are just loaded with peas. And of course the corn, you can see the ears making, but it's a remarkable quietness on the place today. And of course it's been raining, and if y'all have watched any of these videos, you've seen or heard always a lot of bird chatter out here, and I always enjoy it, but today they're quiet. And I was thinking about that, it just kind of struck me as odd, just really quiet today. Maybe they feel like most of us on this somber remembrance 17 years later of the tragedy that hit our soul, biggest and worst tragedy ever on our soul. A lot of lives changed that day, and a lot of blood has been shed then and since in the name of freedom and protection. But I do know this, that we must never pause. We must never forget to pause and remember those folks every day and what freedom stands for. But more importantly, we got to live life and continue to live life and not let that cripple us, if you will. That's when evil wins, right? And yeah, that was sheer evil. That was. So if there's good, there's an antithesis in everything. I've learned that over my life. So we know there's good, so surely there's evil. And mad men in the world, but we've got to keep moving, don't we? And I guess this whole garden kind of has. I guess it was probably 3 or 4 months ago. I remember standing out there in the old Highline area where this, as a boy, was as far as I could see. And even then, I didn't think I had aspirations to have a little garden at some point, and progressed, did the little one up front, and then got this one rolling. And we watered it through the minor drought that we've had for the last month and a half, and good Lord decided to dump a whole bunch of rain slowly over the course of the last couple of weeks, and right on time as the peas were setting and the corn was beginning to tassel and silk out. So blessed man tonight in those simple things. Jordan called me today, had an egg report for me this evening. That was kind of cool. He said, "Dad, I think we've got a record." I said, "Yeah?" He said, "Guess how many eggs I got today?" I said, "I don't know, son, how many?" He said, "I have got 8 eggs. 8 eggs. I'm like, well, how about that? So we had to break into the old styrofoam egg carton stash in the little cannon house. Mama used to keep tons and tons of those empty egg cartons to fill up and give to different folks. And so we still got a lot of them in there. So you ever feel like you're being followed? Look at that. I reckon somebody's hungry. I don't know. I got a chicken army. What in the world? Let me see if I can go up here in the high pasture and get away from them for a minute. They're like, I ain't going that far. There's chicken hawks up there. Shoot, these chickens are bigger than most chicken hawks. They'd have a run for their money, wouldn't they? Hey, let me, I didn't read off much last night. We was talking about a few different hurricane tips and things, and y'all continue to keep those folks in your prayers. Pray that they don't panic. That's usually the worst part of it. So it's a storm, it'll come and cause some destruction, minimal loss of life, we hope, and property damage, but do keep those folks in your thoughts and prayers, and be ready to help where you can as that runs its course at this time of the year. Let me see who all's on there. We got Roxanne. How are you? Kathy, good to see you. There's my buddy Greg over in Lufkin, Texas. I don't know if y'all, if you're not connected to him, man, I've seen that he celebrated a work anniversary. I believe it was yesterday, and served a lot of folks over there at Lufkin through that Love's Travel stop that's there on the East Loop. If y'all have ever been through there, you've probably seen the smiling face and good personality. Love my cousin Greg. Yeah, Nita, you're right. Sad day. We got to keep smiling though, don't we? Jeannie Lawson Brill. Yes, ma'am. We're having a decent night. I don't know about wise, but just kind of call it like I see it. Thank you for that, though. Barbara Ann, let's see. Yeah, Lord watering the garden. It's looking really good. Would y'all hush? This is insane. Just, oh man, I don't even know what to say. They ain't keeping quiet. Hey, Sandra from Florida. Appreciate that. Thanks, Nita, again. There's Hollis. Mr. Phil Griffith. I guess so. Yep, we have put a little bit of work in this thing. I got a tip on pepper plants that I learned, and I'm anxious to try. I'll share that in just a minute. Hey, Manuel, how are you, buddy? Happy feet. Chicken whisperer. Oh, my goodness. This is getting out of control. Hey, sweetheart. In North Carolina, right in the bullseye. Sweetheart Tanaya's up there, and she ain't scared. Hey, Stacy. How are you? That's good stuff. No, these chickens are cracking me up tonight. But I should have known this. I'm sure it's common knowledge to most of you, but peppers, such as bell peppers, habanero, all the pepper varieties that you put in your garden every year, they're perennials, not annuals. So their actual lifespan, if done right, especially in our temperate climate, can be up to 3 to 4 years. And if you'll pull them in the wintertime and guard them from the frost, that's a potato plant in a random row. Sorry. Anyway, I have to dig that up and get it back over here to its home. But if you'll take care of them before the frost, take them indoors and keep them in some good sunlight if you don't have a greenhouse. And if the temperature is comfortable to you inside, then it'll be okay for them. But when spring comes, you set those plants back out in your garden, and they're way ahead of those ones you get at all the little seed starters and stuff you can get at the big box stores and feed stores. And they'll put on more peppers and more robust flavor every year that you do that. So I had a bunch of pepper seeds, got them in too late for really this year's crop. But I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and plant them. So I did, and they're probably not gonna make by first frost we get. But I'll dig them up. We'll have a little spot for them to come out guns blazing, hot firecracker peppers right out of the first of the year. So I'm anxious to see how that works out. Never knew that. I just thought you dug them up, throw them away every year, and start over the next year. But we'll see how that goes. These tomatoes are coming on. I hope we get some before it gets too late. They're a little late, but we'll give it a shot. I think I got about 15 or 20 of them good-looking stalks. These chickens are on bug patrol, I guess you could call it. Never seen nothing like that, silly chickens. I guess I got to feed them. Let's see if they'll get wild over some chicken feed. I threw some right there a little earlier. You can see they tore up that pine straw. I'll feed them their regular ration, but look at that. That's silly things. I'm going to take one handful. Let's see what happens. Yeah, they know what's about to happen. All right. Let me turn this. Well, let's see. Can I turn the camera around one hand? Here, let's see. Nope, ain't going to happen. All right. There we go. Ready for the madness? Like, I think I done caused a fight. And that's why the white chickens, they got to go. They eat like, if I'd let them, they'd eat 25 pounds of feed a day and still look that hungry. Al, what do you think? Huh? You got some crazy ladies, don't you? Look at that. Anyway, I guess if I had one of them a while ago pecking on my boot. My rubber boots. I went to town last night and got some Bluebell in my rubber boots. Why not? Trouble is, I fit right in. That's a good thing. That's when you know you probably living in the right spot, maybe, huh? Let me look at a few more and then we're going to wrap it for the evening. Let's see. Georgia, how are you? There's Jean. Good to see you. Kathy says, my grandmother always used chicken fertilizer on her pepper plant. It made them hotter. Really? Huh. Okay. Hey, Carolyn, how are you? Well, I did use chicken fertilizer on that garden, and I went pretty heavy with it. Dad was concerned it might be a little hot, and I think it was so dry and all, maybe they didn't come up soon enough to where that fertilizer or their leavings messed with it, but I guess proof's in the pudding. We dusted it pretty heavy out there. Of course, nothing's been grown on this land but pasture for the last, 20 years. I know the space shuttle fell out all over this pasture. I hope that corn's not radioactive. I might end up having 3 ears. No, I didn't mean to do that. I meant me have 3 ears with eating the ears of corn. Oh man, I better get off here. I'm getting silly now. Well, y'all have a good evening, and don't be scared to have levity. We can still remember and be somber and appreciate the sacrifices of the first responders and those innocents that got slaughtered today through a senseless act of violence, and all the soldiers that have fought since and even before that for our freedoms. Just a good day to remember that. It's okay to be a little somber about it. But we can laugh, because we got to be the light, right? Got to make a difference, and the only way to do that is to pick up the pieces and move on and celebrate life. Well, I better go feed the chickens. Yeah, that's what I better do. Y'all have a good evening. Be the light. We'll see you. If I don't come on tomorrow, Wednesdays are really busy, and I'll see you Thursday. We'll try to hit it up tomorrow, though. Have a good evening. All right.